All right, so the most best looking member from NCT is... In this video, I'm going to share some stories where I first met NCT members back in 2020. You guys might already know that I taught a lot of K-pop stars and I was their English teacher, right? And today I'm going to talk about three incredible NCT members that I met, Taeyong, Ten, and Yangyang, right? And today's story is about the behind the scenes stories where I met them and taught them English and where I'm still in touch with the three members these days. So how did you first meet the NCT members? As you know, I first met with SM Entertainment in 2019, and I initially had classes with the trainees. But one day they asked if I could teach some singers, and of course I said yes. And so there I met Taeyong, Ten, and Yangyang. If I remember correctly, I met each individual on a different day because they have different schedules and all that. And I first met up with Taeyong, right? The leader of NCT. And he was really nice and polite. Then the next person I met was Ten. He was also very polite and he was really energetic. And lastly, I met with Yangyang and he was really, he was good with his English, but he wanted to improve his English better. What was their English skill level when you first met them? I remember that each member had a different starting point. For example, Taeyong never learned English properly because he was born and raised in Korea. So it was pretty much his first time learning English and English conversation. So he didn't really have an issue reading and listening because he was a singer, but he was lacking confidence in how to speak in English. Ten was pretty good from the beginning since he was exposed to English and since he lived in various countries. And since he was multilingual, other than his pronunciation and confidence, he was quite ready. Yangyang had a unique background where his English conversation skill was pretty good. It was like not fluent, but still it was really good. But the flow, the tone and manner, and a little bit of his pronunciation with this accent that he wanted to fix were some things that I picked up and I knew that he had to change. How did you structure their lessons? For idols, time is limited and their energy is precious, right? So what I did was I taught lessons where they're mostly like 30 to 40 minutes long for up to 2 hours, right? And for each class, they're personalized based on their English skill and based on how their English or Korean was and based on their mother tongue. So I developed a curriculum that would fit their needs for each individual. Well, for example, Taeyong wanted to speak in confidence, right? So what he did is, what I did together was that I personalized a vocab session and classes where it was based on the words that he would usually use when he spoke in Korea in the media. Ten and Yangyang wanted to improve their pronunciation dramatically because they both had that accent that they didn't really want to do or speak while they were doing it in English. So what I did was I made a curriculum using tongue twisters, and you probably heard this from somewhere. So let me show you an example. So it's Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers, Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? What surprised you from each of them? Honestly, I was really surprised with all three members. And after long rehearsals, practices, and when they come see me into the classroom, they were just ready to go and learn. It was just impressive. They were sweating and all that, but they didn't really care, right? And there was a time where I remember where Taeyong was prepping for a new stage. And that day, we didn't really have a room, like a proper classroom. So I met him in his dance room where he practices, right? And what we did was we actually started class on the floor since they didn't even have a table in the room. But Taeyong didn't complain. I didn't really complain either. But he was just happy that we could have class because he was eager to have his English interview and all that. And he thanked me for coming because the atmosphere and, it just wasn't ready, right? But even though, I didn't really care too because that energy that he showed me when I showed up that day was just, amazing. Ken was always the happy, energetic one. When I step in the classroom, when he steps in, he's like, "Oh, hi, hi, 선생님, hi, teacher," and that was just the vibe that pumped me up when I came into the classroom. I was ready to teach class, of course, but so that was something that where I was really, 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 happy. Yangyang was also pretty much the same, like 10. When he showed up or when I showed up, he's like, "Oh, 안녕하세요," very nicely in Korean the first time when I met him. But after that, it's like, "Oh, hi, hi teacher, hi June." They don't really say teacher. In Korean they do, but so that's what I loved about these guys, right? They were just ready to go. So why do you think English matters for idols? Personally, I think that English or any other language is about communication, right? K-pop idols are not just Korean idols anymore. They are all over the world and they meet thousands of people every day on and off line, right? And I think this language helps idols close the gap uh, between the fans. And also English is one of the most used language around the world. And what I think is English is about emotion. You want your voice to come through like the lyrics and songs do. And this is what I teach my students, right? It's how to speak with presence and confidence and with love and to show what you really want to say to your fans and the people that you meet. Do you have anything to say to the fans? I definitely have more stories about Taeyong, Ten, and Yangyang, and along with the other NCT members that had class with me. But I hope you understand that these guys, all the idols, work so hard, not just with singing and dancing, but also with their language skills. And that because they want to communicate so badly with you guys and with the fans, right? So when you see an idol that speaks in English or other language that's not their mother tongue, give them some time, support them, and please know that it's about the effort and love for the fans. And I'm truly grateful that I was on the journey with these guys. If you liked today's story, and for other K-pop related news, drop your favorite NCT moments in the comment, and I'll definitely follow up with more NCT news and with other stories with the other members that I have, all right? Thanks for watching. Bye.